morning, everyone that is attending the webinar today. We are going to talk about DP holders after the changes have been implemented on 1st of May. As you know that the LOC has been in a way removed for DP holders, but not to worry, there are still several measures and different program schemes that have been implemented by MOM to assist DP holders and ensure that they still can, in a way, do some work. Right? So briefly today, we'll be going through the introduction, number one, on the brief summary of changes in this framework for DP holders. Number two will be the options and time frame. So time frame here refers to the processing time from MOM to get even your company set up, and the next steps to explain in detail what exactly is this process about. Okay, so let's go through today on the new DP rules. All right, as you know that after the 1st of May, there's no more DP holders will not be issued LOC. And what does that actually mean? It means that basically if you don't have an LOC, you will not be allowed to work in Singapore, within Singapore, all right? If you have a job outside of Singapore, and not work here, it's still fine for you to proceed. Okay, so let's go through in more detail. So initially, the rule after 1st of May was that DP holders will not be able to get an LOC and need to apply for EP, S-Pass or work permit in order to work here. However, there is a subset whereby MOM still allows the issuance of the LOC if the DP holder is actually a business owner. All right, I understand here that many of the audiences actually set up their own small business or freelance sole proprietorship, and they also have similarly applied for an LOC under that business or private limited entity. So with the LOC in place, in this case already, and will be expiring in the next 1 to 2 years time, what will be the steps going forward? And also, there will also be people that are interested to set up their own businesses that are DP holders. However, with this LOC removed, after 1st of May, what are the other options that they are able to explore? So not to worry here, there are still some options for DP holders to set up their own business, or with some people that already have an existing business, how are they going to get the correct visa that is compliant with MOM regulations? So as shown here, there is the EP route, which means that you still can. These are for people basically that number one have a LOC and have expiring LOC, and you want to explore getting an EP. Number two, this will be also for new owners that want to set up their own small business and would like to apply for an EP under their own business. All right. The second one will be the LOC route. Means as per previously, you can set up your entity and apply for an LOC indefinitely. However, right now, MOM only issues LOCs for DP holders who are business owners. All right, so you still can proceed with the LOC route. However, you can only have this LOC for a year, after which you may need to consider, upon renewal, you need to consider to hire a local. All right, and our suggestion in terms of the local, it can be that you hire short interns or short-term local contract staff, which will be able to help you with. All right, so in terms of, let's go through a bit back onto the incorporation of your company. All right, so here so basically, you want to set up your own company, the process is very fast. It's just probably 1 to 2 working days, and you will be able to set up your own private limited or sole proprietorship business. However, in terms of getting the process, getting the corporate bank account set up, and also getting the LOC. That will take a longer period of time. Getting the bank account set up will probably take 2 to 4 weeks, all right, to liaise with the bank officers to provide them with the necessary information. So what kind of necessary information are they looking out for? So different banks such as OCBC, UOB, Standard Chartered Bank, Maybank are all our partners, all right? So what kind of information they will look out for will be your passport, DP, how much revenue do you expect in a year? What are the different transactions that you will be making? Will that be cash transactions or telegraphic transfers? The names of your suppliers and customers. All right, these are the common questions that they will be asking you for, as well as if you have any sales or business contracts already in place, and that will help you with your bank application. Do not So the thing is that corporate account opening is actually more stringent as compared to personal bank account. So personal bank account, you can just go walk into any branch and you can open the bank account on that day. However, for corporate bank account, there's a list of regulations and rules for the MAS actually enforce on Singapore banks. All right, so it takes 2 to 4 weeks maximum. For the LOC application, it's not so simple as you set up the bank, you set up your company, you can just apply for the LOC the next day. We need to get the CPF account set up, we need to get the MOM account set up, and then we can apply for the LOC. However, for this new scheme, MOM requires an additional steps, which takes another 7 working days for them to process the application for DP holders to be issued LOC before we can even apply for the new LOC. So there's a whole process of the MOM issues can take up to 3 to 4 weeks. All right. So basically, that's about it. All right. Lastly, we can go through a little bit more with regards to what kind of business structure or entity you would like to set up your company. So there's number 1, the sole proprietorship. Number 2, the private limited that I've listed here. So basically, a sole proprietorship is a freelance company, a one-man show, all right? And the entrepreneur personally takes all the risks here. So what does it mean that by the entrepreneur actually owns all the risks? It means that there's unlimited legal liability. If there's any case whereby the client actually sues you for compensation, you will need to personally be liable to pay for all the compensation. All right, that includes the money in your personal bank account. Okay, the second one is the private limited. Private limited, as the name goes, if your legal liability is limited. So that is one of the upside of having a private limited entity. It means that if any clients that sue you, the money that you have to pay them in terms of compensation will be limited by the amount of funds you have in your corporate bank account. So it does not touch your personal assets at all. That is one of the upsides, all right, of this. Second, think about the private limited entity is that it's more of a long-term game rather than a short-term game. So in this case, you can move overseas and still proceed to use the private limited entity. All right. So basically, a private limited entity allows you to actually, when you move overseas, you can use it. Whereas for sole proprietorship is basically, it will be harder for you to actually use this. Reason being that the taxes will be at flat rate of 15%, whereas for a private limited entity, it is the highest go up to only 16%, 16 to 17% if you earn more than $20 million in profit. All right, so in terms of the comparison, sole proprietor is when you want to start your business, you want to test your concept, a proof of concept, and you would like to try this out for a year, you can proceed with this. Of course, you need to be aware of all the risks involved here. Whereas for a private limited, it's basically you have already tested your concept and you want to proceed with your business. Okay, so let me summarize this again for you, all right? So you can still apply for an LOC even after the 1st of May. In your current LOC can only last for a year, all right? If you apply for the the LOC after 1st of May. There are terms and conditions that apply for this. Number one, you need to be a new business owner and have a new, this is the first time you're applying for the LOC under this entity. If it's the second time that you're applying for this under your new entity, under your current entity, you need to get a renewal, which means that for a renewal, you need to hire a local for the next 3 months, correct? Before you apply for the renewal, you need to have 3 months of your CPF contribution in your business before you can apply for the renewal. After the renewal is done, how long will it be approved for? It will be approved until the expiry date of your dependent pass. All right, and that's about it. All right, thank you very much.